All right, hello and welcome back to the OwnAccord Podcast YouTube channel. We are so happy to have you here today. Today we are looking at Daniel Jeremiah's latest mock draft. It came out today, just I think 4 or 5 hours ago. Daniel Jeremiah is one of the most plugged-in insiders in the NFL when it comes to the draft. He really knows what he's talking about. So his mocks are a very good indicator of how the NFL feels about certain prospects right now, who they like, who they maybe don't like as much. And it gives me a chance to kind of talk about more of these prospects as we lead up to the draft. If you're new around here, subscribe right here. The Twitch is at OwnAccordGames. You can join us live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. That's me streaming about the NFL draft, but we also stream on other days of the week. Tyler streams a lot of shooters, a lot of like the Fortnites, the Valorants, the what am I thinking of? Rainbow Six Sieges. I dabble in R6 on stream, but not as much. I play it, just not as much on stream. I'm more of a strategy games guy and like an old retro game guy because my PC is shit and can't run anything that hard. But without further ado, we are delaying the inevitable. The inevitable. I make it sound terrible. Let's get into this mock. Chicago Bears #1 Caleb Williams. Yep, chalk. And Drake May too. Yeah. This will be, I think, the consensus for the rest of the season, the rest of the off season until it happens. I think. Sorry, I'm getting an emergency text from Tyler. What does it say? I got the car. Guys, Tyler just committed Grand Theft Auto. You just saw me react to it live on stream, but Tyler is my co-host for the OwnAccord podcast and my cousin who if you don't know, it's a little fun fact for you. But it's going to be the top two of the draft. I think these are the right picks, personally. I don't hate either of these picks. May is my QB 1A. Williams is my QB 1B. But taking either of these at either of these two spots is the correct draft pick. Patriots go Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay. So the Patriots would likely be investing in maybe a Kirk Cousins or like a bridge QB for the season to be able to lock up a guy who's going to be a perennial All-Pro. He's my wide receiver one. He's pretty much everyone's wide receiver one. Spectacular prospect. There's not much more to say about it. You've heard people talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. to death, so you really don't need me to beat the dead horse anymore. Bottom line is he's good, and this is a good pick for the Pats. Malik Neighbors is also my wide receiver too. So far this mock has been really good and really aligning with what I think is going to happen, or what I would do personally. Neighbors is really solid, just straight up. Super dynamic. That's actually the exact word he uses here. A guy who's able to make plays. I think he's good with the ball in his hands. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see that. Can you guys see now? Okay. Okay. Super dynamic with the ball in his hands, like good after the catch, really good. I don't want to put a Jalen Waddle comp on him, but it's kind of who he reminds me of. Maybe that's stupid. I'm really bad at player comps for the draft. I'm sorry, but that's just kind of the vibe I get. Super slippery guy, and hopefully we'll talk about another guy who I watched recently for wide receiver week, who is also slippery, who I also love. But moving on to the Chargers is Joe Alt. This kind of intrigues me, right? Where I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, to me, this is either Rome or Bowers. Bowers, I do think has top 5 pick potential because of just straight up how good he is, especially as a receiving option. Maybe not as much in the run game or in the pass blocking department, but one of the best pass catching tight ends we've seen. And if you looked at the playoffs this year, most of the teams who succeeded had really good tight ends, and I think that, and I think pretty soon we're going to see a position revolution, I guess, where we completely reevaluate what positions are important to a football team, more than just quarterback is important. Right tackle is important, right? I think we're going to really start to dig into what matters to a good football team, and I think tight ends are going to be at the forefront of that movement, of saying, hey, this guy is way more valuable than we previously thought. We are way behind on how good and how valuable a good tight end is to a football team. That's just me though. Joe Alt is really good. I actually don't hate the pick. It's not what I would do, but if they did this, I think Chargers fans may cry. But I don't hate this pick at all. He is OT1 for a lot of people. I haven't dove too much into him yet, but sure, why not? The New York Football Giants take Jaden Daniels. We just talked about him. I just did my QB rankings on stream. They were great, and nobody disagreed with me at all. They were pretty much perfect. And Jaden Daniels, I do really like. I think this could be good value for the Giants at 6. I think you just can't have Daniel Jones. Like you can't. Sorry, there, there isn't a situation where you can realistically bring Daniel Jones into next year and trot out a semi-serious football team. You get Daniels on a rookie contract. You don't have to pay him shit for what 4 or 5 years unless he's really good. You give him an extension, but still, first couple years of his career are going to be dirt cheap. And if he is as good as I think he can be, and you put him in a situation where he can succeed, that it's going to be a steal. Olufashanu is OT2 for a lot of guys. I don't hate it. I again haven't done as much research on him as a lot of the other guys. Offensive tackle week is coming though. Be prepared. Um, and yeah, I think Fashanu. The Titans desperately need offensive line, right? We talked to Jackie Boy Sports earlier in the year, earlier in the draft cycle, and he was like, "Yeah, our number one need." He's a Titans fan. He said our number one need is O line because it's fucking awful this year, and Fashanu here, I think, would be perfect. Here's JJ McCarthy. Now, there's been a lot of JJ McCarthy discourse, obviously. I don't hate this pick. I have a high second round grade on McCarthy. For the Falcons, I think this will be really fun. I think he would go into a great situation for, as in, like, a great offensive situation. He'll have weapons. He'll have the London, the Bijan, the Pitts, the great O line, the great run game to fall back onto. I think the Falcons should absolutely, absolutely be like, hey, let's take a chance on this McCarthy kid. Can't go in with Ritter. Need a real quarterback. You just got a new head coach. New head coach is probably going to want to draft his guy, and I think that's what they're going to end up doing here. Good pick from good words. When you talk for 31 straight minutes, you start to lose it a little, and you're seeing me start to lose it. I'm gonna go grab some water. I'll be right back to review the rest of this mock draft. And we back. Yeah. Number 9, Chicago Bears take Rome Odunze. I love Rome Odunze. I am not going to be ashamed to say it. I love him. He's got a lot of Larry Fitz comps, which I like. Obviously, it's super high praise for anyone, really. Um, excuse me. And I mean, fun fact about Larry Fitzgerald, he actually has more career tackles than career drops. If you know, you know. If you know, you know, brother. But yeah, Rome's great. He's my wide receiver 3. I've got a high first round grade on him. This is perfect. Huaga is interesting to me. I haven't seen him. I haven't done much of anything on him, but people who I trust really love him. So I'm going to trust that this is a good pick until I get to offensive line week and make decisions for myself. I will trust that he is very good. Here's Dallas Turner. Here's Dallas Turner. Yeah, solid for the Vikings. Daniil Hunter, I don't think resigns. I think he actually should come to the Commanders because we would be so cool to him and respect him and love him. I don't know. But Dallas Turner is my edge one right now. Edge 1 out of 1, to be fair. But I do have a high first round grade on him. Maybe not as high as like Theo Dunze's, and I might drop him down to a mid first just because the technical refinement with him isn't really there. But I love him. The athleticism is so cool. The speed to power conversion is awesome. It's totally there. The hands are like good. The hands are definitely there as well. Um, I do really like Dallas Turner, and we'll pair him up with number 12, the Denver Broncos. Take Jared Verse. Verse isn't somebody who I've dug too deep into. However, just from scouting so many LSU and like LSU offensive players, I've seen him play against LSU so much, and he looks really good playing against them. I don't know if that's a good indication, but I mean, he looked like a fucking monster, and that was cool. But I like both of these picks. Falcons are also a team who, if they don't go quarterback, if they don't love McCarthy as much as we do, um, then they could definitely be in the market for a Dallas Turner or a Jared Verse because their pass rush has just been like abysmal, pretty much my whole life. So that could be something. But for the Vikings and the Broncos to get this, the Broncos, this could be a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix or a McCarthy spot if again the Falcons don't take him. But with all those guys, with McCarthy off the board, it ends kind of the first round grade QBs. So I wouldn't hate them taking an edge rusher. Here's Arnold to the Raiders. Arnold like is a guy who I'm not really in love with, and his teammate J.C. Latham. I promise you, I don't just hate Alabama. I don't love Alabama, but I don't really hate Bama either. Terry Arnold to me is way too raw. Like Arnold is a big project. He's 20 years old right now today. He has undeniably a ton of physical tools, and he's really good against the run. But he has some bad habits in the pass game. He's not as technically refined as the other guy, who I like a lot more, who I hope we get to. Um, I see the vision, and I could totally see myself eating my words in a couple of years. But I also see a future where I get to. I'm not going to victory lap on a young man not achieving his dreams, but I totally see a future where I can come out and be like, I told you so. Latham too, kind of the same thing. Yeah, Penning sucked. Sorry, I just saw his name and I have to hate. But Latham is kind of the same thing, where all the physical skills are there, all the tools are there, and there's not much else. I don't love a lot of the technique from him. I think he gets beat really often. I think um, technically he's not super refined. He is massive, I will say that, but it makes me wonder about his speed, his agility, his ability to kind of get out in front of a run, his ability to get to that second level. I have guys who I like way more than him, and yeah, right now I do not love J.C. Latham. Maybe this changes, but both of those guys I don't love. Wiggins I do like though. Wiggins is again a guy who I haven't done too much on. I've seen maybe one game of his, and of course I've seen him play like just during the season, but that's broadcast angle. You can't really love that. But dude, he's so fun. He's a guy where he gets to the NFL, you can say, oh, see wide receiver one over there. See like Terry McLaurin or like Mike Evans, maybe not Mike Evans, but you see their wide receiver one. You follow him all game and make sure he doesn't catch anything. And he's like, okay, and then it happens. He's just gonna be able to lock a guy down in man, and that's I got a crush on anyone who can do that. Frankly, a big old draft crush. He'll probably be in my draft crushes video, which is coming out probably not soon at all, but um, I'll probably be in the. I'm gonna split it up between offense and defense. The offensive video will be out not soon, like a couple weeks probably. But yeah, I love Wiggins. Byron Murphy Jr. is not a guy I like as much. So big and so strong. But I worry if we're doing another Jordan Davis thing where everyone gets so caught up on, oh my god, freak athlete, and then you kind of look more into it and you're like, can he play every down? Is he gonna be more than just like a third and short, second and short guy? Like, can we realistically play him against the pass? And those are questions that are going to need to be answered. I'll certainly answer them when it gets to defensive tackle week, but right now these are questions that I at least have about him. Maybe the tape will answer it. I hope it does. Quinyon Mitchell to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So fun. It's been one of my first like NFL memories is Quinyon Mitchell being like not Quinyon Mitchell. Oh my God, is the Jaguars having AJ Boye and Jalen Ramsey? And I saw that I was like, that is so fucking cool that they have two lockdown corners, and to be able to recreate that, at least half of it with Quinyon Mitchell would be awesome. Um, Mitchell has maybe two knocks against him is his press coverage, which um, A, he looked good doing it at the Senior Bowl, so it's not a huge problem. But B, if you don't like him in press, don't fucking play him in press. It's that simple, right? Like, yeah, but everything else, the technique in man, the hips, the speed, the athleticism, the physicality, it's all there. I think, truthfully, I think he'll end up going above Wiggins and above maybe even Arnold. But I do see Arnold as going as DB1 off the board just because of what I think the NFL values and what the NFL has shown to value time and time again over the past couple of drafts. Here's Brock Bowers. This is fun. No, it's not actually. I hate this. That's not really fair. Yeah, don't let the Bengals get Brock Bowers, guys, because they'll take him at 18. I think realistically, Brock Bowers is maybe like third on the Bengals draft board. That would be such a good fit. Him, Chase, and Burrow would be so good up until the AFC Championship where they have to play the Chiefs. They would be so good. Oh man, yeah. But yeah, Bowers is spectacular. Like I said, I talked more about him when I was talking about the Chargers, but you get the picture. This would be a home run for the Bengals. Rams get Jackson Powers Johnson. Me personally, I love Jackson Powers Johnson. Where do I have him on my? Don't. Yeah, I have a mid second round mid first round grade on him. Um, I was also able to pull out a John Feliciano comp, which I was so proud of, just size wise at least. Um, not a great center, but size wise, that's who he projects to be. Um, but really good. Good against the run. Good getting to that second level. Has some trouble in the pass sometimes when but he's great at picking up the blitz. Great at picking up stunts, and I see him as a Frank Ragnow type, a Linderbaum type, not necessarily the same caliber of prospect that Linderbaum was, but the point I'm trying to make here is he's going to play center for a team for a very long time and make them happy that they don't have to worry about who's playing center for them, right? Steelers, Troy Fautanu, mm, might be a guard, perhaps. Um, I'm personally more a like if he played tackle in college, keep him playing tackle. But I'm no expert. Maybe I'm completely off on this. Again, I've said it a billion times. I'm not good at being able to tell like what players can play different positions. Like I'm not good at being like this corner could probably play safety, or this receiver could kind of play tight. Actually, I'm okay at that, but like you get the point here. Platano, I have again not dug too deep into, but Steelers if they don't take O line, I think would be a travesty, and I think this between the Rams and the Dolphins, I think is the prime JPJ range. I think he will go in one of those three picks. God damn, I love water. Leatu Latu to the Dolphins. I like Leatu Latu a lot. Here's why I don't think that's going to happen. They, like it says, Jalen Phillips and Leatu Latu kind of have the same story. Medically retired from the game, came out of retirement at a different school, UCLA for Latu, University of Miami for Jalen Phillips, and Jalen Phillips has been injured. He's been a little up and down. Despite all the great traits that he has, it just hasn't really worked out exactly the way the Dolphins, I think, would have wanted it to. And I think that'll be the downfall of Leatu Latu to the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are just going to see this. They have very similar stories and be like, we don't want to deal with it. If they're going to take edge, they might take a who would they take here? Oh, maybe the guy out of Missouri. I'm getting ahead of myself though. But I don't know. Me personally, I just don't see Leatu Latu to the Dolphins. Dennis Rakestraw Jr. is somebody I'm super excited to watch when we get to DB week. Um, just from what I've heard, tough nosed, good against the run, physical man guy, a little undersized, but that's pretty much everything I love out of a corner. So shit. Eagles do have to address the pass defense. Maybe there are better ways to address specifically the pass defense. Maybe you take a Kool-Aid McKinstry, who's really good against the pass. That's just me though. But yeah, that's I don't hate this pick at all, just from what I've heard about him. Brian Thomas Jr. is okay. Fuck you too. Brian Thomas Jr. is somebody who he was somebody I did first in senior week. I got senior week on the mind. I'm very excited for it. I'm getting gassed for it. You know, we got plans are being put in motion already. I've got my house. I've got it like bought. We're paying for it, all that. But wide receiver week is what I was trying to say. He was the first guy I watched. I wasn't super impressed. I think I had like a second round grade on him. I really didn't love this guy. Yeah, I think I had an early second on him. Um, yeah, sorry. I was trying to say I used the term bitched him, and I was like, oh, when did I use that? But I mean, there are good tools, good deep speed. He can go up and catch it. He's got like good catch radius. I like his releases, but I just don't see a lot of like I don't know. I don't know why I don't like him. I can't articulate it, and I'm sorry. But you know that's how I'm feeling about Brian Thomas Jr. And I think the Texans have other needs to address. Maybe not at 23. Maybe they can use it on a luxury pick like receiver, but maybe interior offensive line. Maybe this is a oh what's his name out of Virginia, West Virginia. And then there's a guy out of Yukon too, but I'm blanking. Or tackle. Maybe get another guy opposite Laramie Tunsil, or defensive line. Defensive line is one I've thought about a lot. Defensive line, I would like. Again, the guy out of Missouri is here. Chop Robinson. Maybe this is his range if the Texans like him a lot. But this, me personally, if I was the Texans, this is not the direction I would go. Cowboys take Tyler Guyton. Don't hate this. Don't hate this. Like I said, I'm gonna say it for the next two fucking picks. Um, it teams know when their players are old and close to retiring, and they draft accordingly. Do the Dallas Cowboys have a good offensive line right now? Yes. Is it an old offensive line? Yes. Are they going to need to replace it sooner rather than later? Yes. Do they want to do it now while they, you know, maybe don't need a more important position? Yes. Tyler Guyton is a good pick here. I like it. I don't know if he played the Senior Bowl, but I like this pick. I can't speak to the player, but I like the position for the Cowboys. Same thing with the Packers, although they go Cooper DeJean. Listen. When I watch Cooper DeJean, which will be during DB week, he will be the first person I watch. I can already tell he's going to be one of my guys. Because to me, slot corner is in the same boat as tight end, where we're going to be reevaluating, reassessing how we value positions and what positions we think are important. And we're going to look back at this playoff run from the Kansas City Chiefs and we're going to say, holy shit, they don't make that run. without Trent McDuffie. They don't win that Super Bowl without Trent McDuffie. I fully believe that. Trent McDuffie was the one of when he was on defense and the 49ers were on offense, Trent McDuffie played like the best player on the field. I'm so serious. I call me a fan, call me a stan, whatever you want. We are going to look at that. We're going to look at what he's doing for that Chiefs secondary, and we're going to be like, damn, maybe slot corner is more important than we thought originally. And that's I think where Cooper DeJean fits in. Cooper DeJean, if he came out in maybe the next 4 years, maybe 4 or 5 years from now, we might be talking about a top 10 guy. But right now, with the state of the league where it's at, I don't think we are. I like him a lot, though. I believe I will like him a lot just from what I've heard and the little bits I have seen. That was a lot of talking. Mm, mm. Donovan Mitchell, I haven't watched yet, but Mike Evans, I think, is leaving personally. If I had to guess whether he'd be in Tampa or anywhere else next year, I would say anywhere else for sure. And Adonai Mitchell isn't a guy who I have watched yet. It's either going to be him or Lad McConkey today. I'm excited to watch both. I watched his teammate, who I might take more, but um, with his size, he would be able to kind of fill a Mike Evans role. Um, college football playoff semifinal. Okay, I will. Thank you, Daniel Jeremiah. I will be sure to watch his game against Washington. Darius Robinson is the guy I keep forgetting, who's the edge out of Mizzou, who I keep mentioning. Yeah, he had a really good Senior Bowl. That's where a lot of his stock came up from. He performed really well there, which is important for specifically the Cardinals. Bro, I've been talking for too damn long. 50 minutes. That's a long time. At least when I'm playing like Pokemon or like some strategy game, I don't have to be talking constantly because you're entertained by the game. I gotta be talking so fucking much. It's just difficult. Darius Robinson, when it comes to Edge Week, I'm super excited to watch him. He had a great Senior Bowl, which is super important for edge rushers and offensive tackles, like specifically. With He won a lot of one-on-ones. I think a lot of his stuff is up on YouTube from the Senior Bowl, so go watch that if you haven't. But I like this pick a lot. I think he will sneak his way into the first round. Zach Frazier, sorry, that was the name I was forgetting. That could maybe go to the Steelers or to the I don't know. Chop Robinson to the Bulls, I think would be Bills. I think would be bad. I think would be a bad pick. I think they need to take a receiver, low key. I think you just need to. I think you just need to resign Leonard Floyd. Like honestly, Chop Robinson, I have my problems with. Uh, where is he? Yeah, I have a mid to high second round grade on him, closer to mid second round grade. Traits there, cool, good, awesome, love him. Everything else, I kind of question. Hands aren't super there. He loses his balance pretty frequently. I don't know if he has a ton of bend. I don't see. I would not like him in the first round personally. And the Bills, I think, need to address receiver. They can do that with one of my guys for this draft, Xavier Worthy, who I'm going to do a quick check. Does not go in the first round in this draft, so I'll talk about him right now. Xavier Worthy is so good. Tank Dell was one of my guys last year, and Worthy reminds me a lot of Dell. Super slippery, super fast. His release can be okay. He can play inside or outside. People don't really value the inside receiver as much, and I'm not going to go on a whole rant about how we need to value the inside receiver more. Because frankly, I don't think we really do. But he's really good. Matchup nightmare, frankly, because if you put him inside, uh, I don't know who's really going to be able to guard him because he's going to be too fast for a linebacker and probably too fast for whatever slot corner you put him against. Really smooth route runner too. I love everything Xavier Worthy does, and I don't like Top Robinson the Bills. Zach Frazier was the guy I was thinking of. I don't hate this at all. Dan Campbell type of player for sure, for sure, man. Um, I haven't done shit with him. Sorry, I can't talk to it. Same with Mims. Same with Barton. Like offensive line, I just have not hit yet. Franklin, I don't love. Franklin, I really don't love. He's kind of a I'm kind of just a straight up unmoved. He's my wide receiver. What? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. He's my wide receiver seven. There are guys on the board who I like a lot more. He's got the good long speed. He's got the burners. He's got the good releases. He's got the long catch radius. He catches the ball well, but I don't see a lot of crisp, refined route running from him. I don't see a ton of like really special agility. After the catch, I don't really love him. I don't think, they threw screens to him at Oregon, but I don't think those were plus plays really that often. Um, so maybe he can fill a specific role, but in the first round with other guys who I think are just much better on the board, I don't think Troy Franklin would be the pick here. But I've been talking for too damn long. I've got to go to the bathroom, frankly. So that's going to be it for me today. If you did watch, thank you so much for watching. It really does mean the world. Um, if you're new, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, on TikTok. They're all right up here, right up, fuck, right up here. Um, Twitter OwnAccordPod, YouTube OwnAccordPod, TikTok OwnAccordPod. If you're watching this on YouTube, the Twitch is OwnAccordGames. Um, Thank you all so much for joining us today. Comment what you thought about my takes on the draft. I love talking to people about the draft because, frankly, I don't know anyone in like my life who knows the same amount about the draft as I do. I'm kind of an NFL draft nerd. It's one of my favorite times of the year. So yeah, comment what you thought, any agreements, any disagreements. But thank you for watching, and I'm gonna catch you.